Hi Marav, and welcome to iOnAfrica. This week, South Africa is marking 40 years since the Soweto student uprising, seen as a pivotal moment in the struggle against apartheid. An estimated 176 school children were shot and killed for marching against a government decree that forced all black schools to use Afrikaans and English as languages of instruction. It was a massacre that shocked the world, making international headlines, exposing the reality of South Africa's structural racism and inequality. But with this year's theme as advancing the youth, 4 decades on, students who were there say the born-free generation is still facing similar grievances.
What has not been done is the transformation at higher education. Transformation in South Africa is very, very slow.
Ethiopian security forces killed more than 400 people in the recent wave of anti-government demonstrations, so says US-based Human Rights Watch. Protests were sparked by a plan to expand the capital into the Oromia region, which raised fears of displacement among Oromo farmers. Meanwhile, the country traded blame with arch-rival Eritrea for one of the fiercest border clashes since the war in 1998. Compulsory national service makes Eritrea one of the world's most militarized nations. With just 5 million citizens, it's dwarfed by Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous nation with some 96 million people.
The next course of action entirely depends on what the regime in Asmara decides to do next. If they still think they can do something to even the score or anything like that, then they will be forcing our hands to attack again.
Kenya is closing its largest refugee camp, and the UN has finally bowed to the move, despite initially warning that it would violate international obligations. The Dadaab refugee camp, that is the world's largest refugee camp, comprising of some 350,000 refugees, mainly from Somalia. They've hosted them for more than 2 decades and say it spent $7 billion on the camp. But they now say it must close as it poses an existential threat. However, many refugees are not ready to go back to their homeland.
Ready to go back to our country, but it's not the time being, today or tomorrow, because of the challenges and the reasons why we fled from Somalia. Still, some of the challenges are still there.
Also in Kenya, a court has upheld the use of anal exams to determine a suspect's sexual orientation. Mombasa High Court judge said the procedures does not violate rights or the law after 2 men had sought a court ruling to stop the enforced examinations. And finally, French media conglomerate Vivendi has opened a 300-seat cinema in Cameroon's capital, Yaoundé. It's the first of 100 it plans to build across the continent, where cinemas have been closed one by one. In Cameroon, the last 2 cinemas closed back in 2009. This new cinema will not only screen movies, but also become a venue for music and comedy shows.